I have not read a lot of books in May, but they were so good. I haven't had a reading month this good in such a long time. I started the month by finishing Bane by L.G. Chen. This is the last book in the Sinners of Saint series. One of the most disappointing books in this whole series. I was just not a big fan of it. I think I gave it 2.5 stars. And it is about Bane, who is he's not a really good man. He's a con, a thief. He's rich. The way he makes money is very particular. The main girl in this book, I don't remember her name, but her father decided to pay Bane to become her friend because she went through something very traumatic. She has trouble just being social. I liked kind of the relationship between those two, but it was a really dark book and in not a good way. I was not feeling it, but to talk about the Sin of Saint, I liked Vicious. It was dark, twisted, a bit of a bully, completely a bully, and it was nice. But I loved Scandalous and the second book, Ruckus. Those are the two that I think were the best. I think this is the book I least like this month because the rest is just getting better and better. I read Practice Makes Perfect by Sarah Adams. You know how much I wanted to read this book. When it got out, I was like, I want you. It was so good. I think it was even better than a first book in this series, When in Rome. And I loved When in Rome. In When in Rome, we have Amelia and Noah. And in this book, we are following Amelia's bodyguard and Noah's little sister. We are still in the small town, but the bodyguard is he's kind of a big city guy. He wants more. He needs something a bit more freeing than just being the bodyguard to a pop star. Noah's sister, Haney, everyone in her family just thinks of her as this sweet little girl. And she's tired of just being in this box. She wants more also. And I just liked their relationship so much. It was kind of an attempt at fake dating that just was not there. And then I read the Crowns of Nyaxia books. Those are, I think, the most hyped up books. Currently with Fourth Wing, there was so many talk about those books. So we have The Serpent and the Wings of Night. Then it's a novella, kind of. I think it's a bit more than 100 pages. And it's called 6 Scorched Roses. And then the last book is The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King. Overall, I gave this series 5 stars. Just by itself, only the first book was 5 stars. I just loved every single of those books so much. So in this we have vampires and there are different vampire clans. They've always been at war to know from which clan the king would be. But the actual king just took this human girl and decided that it would be her. She became kind of his daughter and she's called Oriya. Every 10 years we have this big tournament, which kind of gives Hunger Games vibe because you have to kill everyone and be the only survivor to actually win the tournament. She's only against vampires, so that's just complicated right from the start. She also decides to ally with this man, and this man, I could die for him. I love him so much. He was insane. But I love the action in this book. For another book that I read this month, there was a lot of action and I have to admit that sometimes I was just passing through because I was not that into it. But the battle scene in this book, I really like them and actually read them and not just skimming through to get quicker to the actual plot. I heard that some people were disappointed by the end of the first book, but I loved the end. I found the end so good. I love it. And the novella is not necessary to read. You don't have to. But I really like the storyline and the main guy also. I love the main guy that this woman writes. Even though they are overly confused or very dark gray. Then after reading this series, I ended up reading Your Story by Abby Jimenez. It was also a 5 stars. I was not expecting to love this book as much as I did, but it also was really good. We are following two doctors, Jacob and Brie. What I love in this book is being in Jacob's brain. He has a lot of social anxiety, and the way he's thinking, I understood him so much and I could see myself in his eyes. The relationship was not the greatest. It's not my favorite romance story ever. The overall thing made it a 5 stars. If it was just the romance, it would not have been a 5. But there is fake dating in it. There is also workplace romance because they are both doctors in the same hospital. If you watch my What You Should Read This Summer, I talked about 1,000,000 Kisses in Your Lifetime, and that made me want to reread it. So I did, and it is still a 4-star book. I love this book. I realized that it was very, very toxic at some point, but it's not stopping me from loving it. I also read this month the half of it. It's the memoir that Madison Beer published. You can tell that she struggled a lot with social media, and especially like hateful comments and people just mocking you on social media. It stays on your brain because she talks so much about it in her memoir. But it was really interesting also to see a lot of things that happened to her, and I really liked her. I think she's really pretty. She dresses well. I love her voice. And sometimes you forget that behind this persona there is actually someone that went through a lot of things. I read The True Love Experiment by Christina Lauren. I know I saw a lot of people hating on it. I personally really liked it. I don't know why people felt like that about this book. We are following this author. She has a blog. She doesn't know what to write or anything, and she's a romance author, so obviously she's like, I think I don't believe in love anymore, and that's why I can write. And this producer, I don't remember how he heard about her. He decided that he wants her to do a TV show, a reality show type, a bit like Bachelor, but the woman asked him to choose people based on well-known romance trope. So we have the bad boy, the one that got away, the vampire, the nerd guy, those kind of things. And I think it was funny. It was predictable for the most part, but the main girl is really funny, but not like too much. Then I read another from A Gentleman. It's by Julia Quinn, and it's the third book in the Bridgerton series. I don't know why not more people are talking about this book series. I have to admit, the first 2 books were not like amazing, but this is Benedict's story, and I loved it so much. I was surprised. I was not expecting to like it this much. It was so good. I loved it. I really did. Benedict in this is kind of falling in love for someone that is not of his social status. She's benefiting, if we can say that. We can say that for the epoch. If you want to know what I'm currently reading, I'm reading Scarlet by Marissa Mayer and Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. And I read Another French Gentleman because I needed to do a little break while reading Kingdom of Ash, which I finally finished. I finished the Throne of Glass series, which you've been with me since the beginning, because I read it for one of my videos. Overall, it is a 5-star story. I'm very excited to reread it and see connections between everything. It was not my favorite book, but I think it was too long for the end, but I still liked it. I think it wrapped up the series very well. It can't be like show-stopping because it's the last book. You have to just finish everything. Then I read Carissa Is Back, and I'm not gonna say much because I did a reading vlog that is coming very soon. I really like this book. And the last book I read this month, I actually have the physical copy. This is this one. It is Cinder by Marissa Mayer, and I did a tiny bit of annotating because I don't feel like it's a book to annotate, but there was such a point where I was like, I just need to annotate this. So this is part of her series, the Lunar Chronicles. We are following Cinder, who is half human, half cyborg. She's like a mechanician in New Beijing, because this is kind of, it is a dystopian book actually. She's meeting the king. Well, it's not the king, it's the prince. There is this sickness that is just killing everyone in the human world, and then we have the moon, and from the moon those people are immune to this sickness. There is also a lot of political talk because obviously the prince is trying to find a way to actually save his people, but the moon queen she's a bitch. I knew the plot twist, but I was still like, and the man in this, K, I love this man. He was so freaking cute. Towards the end, every time he was talking, I was just doing little hearts. I was like, you have my heart. So I already started, like I said, the second one. This is Scarlet. As you can see, overall, it was such a nice reading month. I wonder what my average rating was, because I think it's quite high. My overall rating was 3.9. Obviously, the only thing that is pushing it back is the 2.5 with Bane. An almost 4 rating on the month is really good. I hope you had fun watching this video. There is many more book related video coming soon. I am so excited for you to see all of them. Don't forget to subscribe and put a thumbs up. That would help me so much. And I will see you very soon. Bye!